now that are banning LGBTQ plus people. Banning. The representatives have used the word, we need to eradicate transgender.
I don't know why it bothers people so much. It really makes me sick.
Okay, maybe that's the question we should ask: is why do people think
they're so threatened? What are they so threatened by?
Yeah, somebody else who they love, who they have sex with, who they want to be, who they feel they are, what kind of pronouns they feel more respected by using. How does that actually impact your life?
It doesn't.
Right. But they make it sound like it's ruining their lives, right?
Right.
Otherwise, why would you pass a bill to ban it?
Because they don't want you to focus on what's really going on there. There's some crazy people that are doing some really bad shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. Well,
okay.
If anybody would like to talk about cougars, let's hear it.
And yeah, that's another role. Do you think the main issue is relying on religion or ignorance? I mean, they kind of both go together. You know, because I think certain factions of religion are very ignorant about human sexuality on purpose.
On purpose is right.
On purpose, you know, they deny our humanness. And so it's, but you don't have to be religious to be ignorant, or vice versa. So I think the ignorance is absolutely the undercurrent. And what frustrates me is if you know that you have a bias and you don't understand your own bias, I think it's our responsibility as adults to investigate, like, where did that come from, and is that a healthy bias? Am I being harmful to others because of my ignorance, and it's my responsibility to educate myself?
Okay. First of all, thank you, Matt, for saying that. We're both beautiful.
Thank you, Matt.
Secondly, someone came up to me the other day, and we had an event in my building, and she was like, what do you think about like Target? And they shouldn't be having all these gay things over there. And she was clearly not knowing what the hell she was talking about, but she's watching a lot of
Fox.
Yeah. I said, where did you hear that? Did it start with an F and end with an X?
Yeah. Faux news, faux propaganda.
Faux news. But yeah.
Well, what's funny is that today, if you've cruised through social media, the support that's pouring into social media for LGBTQIA plus community is wonderful. And somebody was saying, they're targeting Target, right? Because they put some of their clothing and things that were supporting the community in the front of the store, and the bigots were in there wrecking their stuff, making people feel bad who were walking in to buy it. I mean, it was really obscene harassment. And they go, yeah, well, they're not saying anything about all the merchandise at Walmart. It's full of LGBTQ plus merchandise. So why aren't they going after that?
It's bizarre. It's bizarre why anybody in this country wants to go backwards instead of forwards. I don't get it. We do have a couple questions here on YouTube. Welcome, YouTubers, Will and Kinso. First question, not to change the subject, but how do I find the cougar bar in my city? I'm looking for a cougar to have a wild side with.
Cougar bar. Now, there's a business idea, Karen.
I think it's been out there for a while. It's called Ladies' Night.
Okay, that's true.
But I think
that's usually like Thursday nights. Go out on Thursday nights.
Go out on Thursday nights and go to a place that's like got a little more of an upscale. I mean, don't go looking in, one of these, these like mosh pit bars.
Right. Yeah, probably not going to find too many mature people there.
Yeah. So you got to get into the mind of an older woman and think, where would she hang out? And if there's like a nice upscale bar, go in there, get yourself a club soda with lime. You don't need to pay $20 for a drink, and just walk around and introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Where do you live? Well, you said in my city. Where is that city? Kinso says, good evening from South Africa. Wow. How can I I love South Africa. How can I be more attractive to older women? Be yourself. Kinso. You have any other suggestions?
I think develop some interesting interests. You know, if you're just waiting for other people to feed you, you're not building yourself. You're just kind of a blank slate. So if you're young, even if you're not going to college, start taking online courses on things like winemaking or I mean, it doesn't matter, politics, whatever. Get interested in something, and that makes you more interesting.
I like that. Welcome, Mrs. L. Hello, happy Pride Month. Too bad that Target backed off.
What's that?
Target backed off. She said, too bad.
Yeah, I think a lot of the stores just moved the merchandise toward the back of the store.
I mean, nobody wants to deal with it, but somebody should stand up.
No, they needed to bring in some mega force, not MAGA force, but
yeah,
and stop the people from harassing their customers.
Right. They got nothing better to do. Thank you, Trevor, saying Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. If everybody was supportive of people of all different whims, I just was at an event with the Multi-Amory podcast people. They came out with this book. I have my own signed copy here. Essential Tools for Modern Relationships.
Okay, it's backwards. So tell me what it says.
Essential Tools for Modern Relationships.
I love that.
And it's not just for, you can borrow my book.
It's not what?
It's not just for polyamorous people. It's for all people. It's very inclusive. Whether you're monogamous, whether you're poly, whether you're LGBTQ, X, Y, and Z, it's for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think if we could get rid of one thing in our belief system, it would be that there's one way to have a relationship.
Right.
And there's a right way and a wrong way. And I think if we could banish that from our thoughts, just, you know, I wish I was like the Men in Black and I had one of those little wands, you know, to erase the bullshit.
Yeah.
I think a lot more people would find happiness in their relationships if they knew that the people in the relationship get to design it collaboratively.
And keep redesigning it as time goes by. This book is fabulous. They did a reading out of it, and I think everybody should get a copy of it, or just listen to us. The key is there is no one way to have a relationship.
Right. No, and you can't compare your relationship to other people's relationships. I mean, you can, you know, if you're curious about how people created a really healthy, happy relationship, you can ask them, but some of those things might not apply to you. So,
yeah, there's no one way to have a relationship. There is one thing I could say will not work in a relationship, and that's dishonesty.
Is what?
Dishonesty.
Yeah, for sure. You're cutting in and out, so I don't know if you need to get closer to your mic or what's happening.
I keep moving closer.
That's better.
Oh, is that better?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, anyway, so yeah, does that help you guys, Will and Kinso?
I'm being toyed with here.
Someone whipping out the privates?
Maybe a little frontal, full frontal, post shower.
Let's take a look, Mark. Let's take a look.
Get us banned. Get us banned.
Oh yeah, that's all we need. It'll be us going away.
So in light of like the Pride Month pop thing, I would like to pose the question.
What question would you like to pose?
What is wrong with just simply supporting human rights? The rights for the individual to decide for themselves what they do with their body, who they love, who they live with, how they identify, what genders they relate to, and they're not hurting anybody. It's all just their pure existence in life. How can it be bad to support the individuals?
I mean, the 4 agreements, you read that book a long time ago, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But essentially how we come into this world with past knowledge of past lives. And by the time, society keeps pushing away all these wonderful thoughts that people have, individual thoughts, you end up with a bunch of people that only want things the way the society says it. And that's really pathetic.
Yeah. And what is this society? Society is just people who oftentimes have made laws and regulations based on ignorance and fear.
Right.
Not on truth, not on compassion, not on empathy, not on understanding.
Well, it's going to make if they are okay with trans people or people that are gay or bi or whatever they are, that it makes fear. It means that they can't control the norm, so it's fearful for them.
Well, what makes those people think they're controlling anything?
I don't know. I don't know why. And it's all over the world too. I just saw someone, I forgot what country, that came down with, I think it was an African country, came down some strict laws against LGBTQ.
Nigeria.
Was it Nigeria? I think it might have been. Patrick asks, how often does cougar really seek a younger fella? I assume it's just a matter of correlating vibes. You are such an amazing, beautiful, by the way. Well, thank you for the amazingly beautiful, by the way.
Bye.
So do you want to address that? How often does a cougar really seek a younger fella?
Well, I don't know. I mean, every cougar's different, right?
Yeah. I found that I'd go out to a bar and inevitably it would be the younger guys coming up to me, not the guys my age as much. So I think like certain people give out a certain energy, maybe more of an open-minded energy, or maybe just a younger spirit energy.
A little more playful. Yeah.
A little more playful.
Yeah, a little more.
But I don't know that any of my friends, when they were single, would keep in mind that they only wanted to date younger. I mean, unless you're Al Pacino.
Wow.
Yeah. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. Anyway, where were we? Patrick, does that explain things or no? Planet Mula says, do you find Joe Biden handsome?
Yes.
Do you?
I really do. I mean, I think I like his demeanor. I mean, I think he's a really kind man, and he's got a little bit of a wicked smile. So yeah, I think he's a handsome man. I mean, do I find him hot? No. But I think you can appreciate a handsome person.
I mean, he's handsome.
He's got good stature and he's confident, and yeah, I think he's handsome.
All right, Joe Biden, Donald Trump.
I almost spit mine out my nose.
I love a nice orange-faced guy. There's nothing better.
No.
Trevor says, I think Obama was the Eisenhower and Biden was the Nixon.
What?
I don't know.
No way.
Trevor.
And Obama, now he's hot. He's hot. Biden is handsome. Trump is disgusting.
What about Nixon?
Nixon, I mean, he was creepy.
Real creepy. And what about Eisenhower? I think
nothing attractive about him.
What's interesting, I think I read some statistic that the men, presidents that cheated around in office on their women were more successful than the other ones that didn't. Isn't it strange?
Well, no, it's not strange at all, since at that time men were ruling the world.
And they're not now?
No. I think it's changing, and that's why they're running scared.
I think so too.
Yeah. But of course the men that wanted to be out there cheating love to have. That's why all these bigots and racist, creepy people love Trump, because he represented them. It's like they had their own Fuhrer in the White House.
Yep.
That's why the KKK came out of their hoods in Charlottesville right after he was inaugurated.
Ooh, it's freaky.
Yeah.
Mrs. Elf said they are the oppressors. If there is anyone to fear, it's their own kind. And I never understand that the women would be fear, would also go along with what their husbands or boyfriends or men in their life were saying. I never understand that.
Well, have you watched the American? How to send it to you? It was a kind of a documentary story on Phyllis Schlafly, who was the Republican woman that basically took down and stopped the ERA from passing.
Send it to me.
I will. You will love it. It's like a little mini series, super good, very interesting on Reagan and that era and how all that she was doing. And the irony is, this bitch fought so hard and went to task, working full time, mind you, with 5 kids at home, touting that women's place was in the home. Okay, let's pause on that one. So she worked full time, traveling all over the country.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Touting that women's place was in the home, not in Congress. And after all that was said and done, and she got the ERA to be not passed and stopped, that snag went to school and became a lawyer. And she was fighting against women getting the right to go to law school or go to college. That's the audacity of people that fight against their own rights, their own best interest. Sometimes that light bulb comes on.
And it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't.
And sometimes it doesn't, yeah. But hers did, and she just after she killed the ERA from passing.
Unbelievable. Well, no, I didn't watch that, but I have been watching Party Down. That's a funny show.
Okay. What is that?
Oh my God! It's about actors in LA who, instead of acting, they ended up. It's a comedy, obviously. Really, really great, talented people in it, and they all are working for a catering company. And each place they go into, they make the craziest characters. Very, very good. I hope you guys have watched it. Patrick Anderson says, I personally think beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I went to college on an arts scholarship, so I appreciate both a blooming rose as well as one that's fading away.
Oh.
You're very artsy, even the way you described that.
No, that's not artsy. That's derogatory.
I appreciate the blooming rose as well as one that's fading away.
Fuck.
Well, eventually roses do fade. I think that he has something to. I don't think he's appreciating.
Your light's being snuffed out, and I'm watching you fade off into the distance.
Well, the good thing is that we are not roses. I didn't take that personally, but maybe Patrick, you can explain more about what you're saying with that. I thought it was very poetic, actually. Mrs. L said, internalized sexism. That's what, in regards to what you were describing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Internalized patriarchy. That's the thing I get into debates with people about is the word patriarchy. A lot of men take offense to that. And you go, first of all, the man I'm talking to, you didn't invent it. Men did before you. However, you've been impacted by it. And it is just as negative a way as I have. And I started watching that series, The Feminist on Cell Block Y, I think it is. It's on YouTube. And it's about prisoners, men in prison, who are discovering how patriarchy has damaged them.
Oh, that's
especially men of color. How they weren't allowed to express emotion. They had to be in a gang. They had to be tough. Yeah. They had to be cold. Yeah. They couldn't show. They had no outlet for all the feelings that they were feeling because they're human.
Yeah, I could see that.
And so they talk about it. They have the support group that's happening. It's been happening for quite a while, and how these men evolve in this program and come out and be really awesome men in society and become mentors and become great partners and great parents, and how patriarchy has done so much damage to boys and men.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough road to climb to make things equal.
It is. And I think we're seeing now that we've done a great job with empowering women. I think women are on their way. Women are, more women are in college, more women are in medical school.
Yeah, for sure, since we went.
Oh, yeah.
I was
and ever in time in our history, right? And more single women own homes than single men.
And 50% of all women over 50 are living by themselves, happy and single.
Yes.
As I am tonight.
Yes.
Welcome back, Matt.
Cheers.
Planet Moolah is asking, do you like skinny guys? I like all guys. I'm a man lover. I don't have a specific type. It's all about the internal personality. Now, if there's a immediate yuck when I see, if someone's hitting at me or whatever, and I'm not attracted, then I can't make that. I can't manufacture that. But I certainly don't. I don't dislike people because they're skinny or fat or tall or short or whatever. Matt wants to know.
Matt, Karen, it's just Karen on YouTube, if that's what you're talking about. You can see us here, but on YouTube.
He was saying about the show that you talked about, I think.
Oh yeah, I would definitely watch it. I think it's just a great, it's a really cool way to hear men talk about being a man in society, and they really had to do some soul searching about how is it that at 18 or 19 I'm in prison for 30 years.
Right.
How did that happen? And so they've got time to do that work, but they're doing the work, and they're really discovering that it isn't because they're broken. I think that's really the thing I'm gleaning from it the most. It's like they're not broken, but society has influenced them in a way that was very negative.
All right. Okay. So Matt.
What show? It's called The Feminist on Cell Block Y, I believe.
Right. He was saying whether or not he should switch to YouTube because I was answering their YouTube questions. Back to the YouTube. Okay. Patrick wants to know, how was that derogatory about the rose? Benny asked, do cougars swallow? Matt Castell says, hi, Karen. Hi. Greg says, hey, beautiful. Hey. Patrick says, can you not give admiration to something that society people view as pretty with the same energy that you give to what society views as ugly or dying? That's the question I have for you.
Okay. That's a good question.
Well, I think he's the one who was saying before about the rose that you said that was an insult.
Yeah. No, I think now I understand where you were coming from. Thank you for that
clarification.
That connection. Yeah.
I got that vibe immediately, but I think you took.
Well, you're smarter than me.
I don't know if I'm smarter, or if I just went in that direction. I think sometimes,
maybe I didn't like thinking of myself as a fading rose.
Yeah, exactly. Although some fading roses are beautiful. I mean,
okay.
Look at Robert De Niro. He's a fading rose. And Patrick wants to know, Benny says, you like Joe Biden. Yes, I do. Patrick says, so is it wrong to say one man's trash is another man's treasure? I don't know about that. That's making it
whatever
worse.
You can say what you want.
It's getting worse. Stay where you were. Benny says FJB. Not sure what that means. Patrick says, or better yet, does organized chaos not exist? You're going way over my brain cells.
Organized chaos does exist. And what was the other one?
I don't know. Something about one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Well, I mean, we say that all the time when you go to a junk sale or a garage sale, and somebody will come along and find something that's an absolute treasure, and the other people will giving it away.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's normal, right?
Trevor says, describe your dream home. Would it have a swimming pool, your own bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, single story, or 2-story? Trevor, are you an architect?
Are you going to build us a house?
I can tell you one thing is I would love my own bedroom. That's for sure. I don't like to share bedrooms.
With anybody?
Well, I share bedroom up until a point. And then once the cuddling is over and the snuggling and whatever else you're doing is over, then I like my own space. Then I'm like, okay, time for us to go into different rooms and sleep peacefully, because sleep is really important. So Trevor, yeah, I would like everything except my own swimming pool, because it costs a lot to maintain swimming pools. And truthfully, I don't want a home anymore either. I had so many homes in my life. And no, I'm not looking to have another house. I have a condo. I don't even own the condo. I own nothing. I own no cars. I rent everything. I rent a place to live. I rent the car. I have an old golf set and golf clubs that are mine.
I mean, you made a very interesting transition, because you owned a home and you owned cars and you had all that farmer stuff, stuff that grounds you. How is life different for you not having that?
That's a good question. Trevor, listen up. It's actually like not owning a car and leasing a car to me is no big deal. But the home thing is, because I just had to sign another year lease. I wanted to put in, are you guys ready for this? I want that Toto toilet that washes your ass for you and does and wipes your ass. I want one of those.
Like one of those, yeah.
Like a bidet incorporated, and I wanted one of those. And I can't really get one because I'm not going to put that like $1,000 toilet into my apartment that I don't own. So I guess in that respect, not owning is precluding me from like having some of the things I would want.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a house one time that had heated floors in the bathroom.
That's a nice touch.
Especially in Chicago, it's a nice touch. But thank you for that interesting question, Trevor. I thought that was unique.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this since 2010 or something. And it's been a while, and I don't think I've ever had a question like that. And just because Joe Biden falls down does not make him an old...
He tripped over a sandbag from what I saw.
I mean, Bruce Springsteen fell down on stage. No one says a word about the fact that he just got right up and kept on playing.
Yeah, and I mean, Joe got right up and kept on moving. So, yeah. I mean, people fall down. I mean, the worrisome thing is, as we get older, if we fall down, things can break more easily.
Right.
But, and he's still struggling with his foot that he broke by riding a bicycle. All right. So it's like the guy's in his 80 and he's still riding a bicycle, for God's sake.
I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Can you see the orange buffoon on a bicycle?
Do you think Donald Trump rides a bike? He probably rides an ass. Okay, I'm not going to go down there. Matt, thank you for those pictures.
I don't think Donald Trump rides anything.
Woo, baby, unless it's a woman. But who knows about that either. Let's see. Patrick says, let's That's all I was saying. No disrespect or derogatory vibes coming from me. Okay, thank you.
Patrick, tell him I totally get it, and
She gets
no
it.
hard feelings.
No hard feelings. She doesn't carry a grudge. She just drinks more wine.
Right.
That trainer Charlie says, "What up, Karen? What up? What up? What up, Benny? Your name's Karen. Oh my God, you just figured that out, Benny? FEV."
Hey, what pictures, Matt? Did you get the pictures of Springsteen falling?
No, he is a professional photographer for.
I know. That's what I'm saying, because he said for the pictures, you're welcome.
He sent me he sent me some pictures, which I'll forward them to you. They're really fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he
Gotcha.
is a
I'm behind on this.
That's one of the coolest jobs I've ever heard of, taking pictures of rock concerts. I mean,
that is a good job.
You were at a music festival all last week and tons of photos to go through, and I'm updating my resume. Cool.
Very fun.
That is.
So, Matt, do you go to Coachella?
Well, one of them is a music festival, so I'm guessing yes. The trainer, Charlie. Karen, we talked 5 years ago, and I was cougar tripping. Now I got the cougar, and she's Diane Keaton on 1,000. She's down.
Well, what a lucky man.
Diane Keaton on 1,000. What does that mean? Okay, thank you. Oh, he was not.
Boston.
I mean, I went to Lollapalooza several years in a row. I don't know if I can handle it anymore. That's a lot of walking around and waiting for porta potties.
Yeah, I hate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've discovered I'm not a good waiter and linerer.
I'm right there with you. I think actually it was Dave Matthews Caravan. I was there and it was hot. There's a ton of people in line. I was the oldest person there by 20 years. And I walked up to the front of the line. I'm like, I'm old. I get to go first. No one said a word. They just let me go.
Awesome. That's cougar power.
Yeah, that's cougar power.
Cougar power.
So if I helped you in any way get your cougar, that's awesome.
My feeling is if I can't afford a good seat somewhere, then I can just not watch it.
Watch it on TV. You've seen it a million times. Mrs. L, by the way, the Bruce Springsteen concert on Broadway. That Bruce Springsteen concert it's on like HBO or something. It's great.
Oh, is it?
He tells stories. He has his wife come on. It's fabulous. If you guys seen that, I highly recommend it. I'd watch it again. That's how good it was. Mrs. L said,
Matt says he averaged 9 miles a day over the last weekend. His feet felt like they were going to fall off.
That's why I couldn't do it. I just can't walk like that anymore. Mrs. L, ladies, I need your perspective. How do you handle it when you really like someone, but you're not at the same page to one or two things concerning? Like if he's a Trump supporter, I made that part up. Sensitive social issues or politics. Imagine you're not a complete opposite ends, but that they aren't exactly where you are either. How do you handle that? I mean, I think it's okay. I mean, there are certain things that my boyfriend and I do not agree on. It's not like the Grand Canyon, but there's certain things that we're not 100% on the same page, but that's what makes the world go round. As long as you respect each other.
I gotta pipe in on this one, because I don't think that, for me, the Trump DeSantis political party, for me that is an amoral, cruel, sadistic part of our culture right now. Very dangerous, very unhealthy, very Hitler-esque.
Well, she said you're not.
There's some moral compass issues there.
No.
If you aren't on the same page morally and ethically, you aren't on the same page. It will come up and it will destroy your relationship.
She's saying she's not at a complete opposite ends, but they aren't exactly where you are either. So it's not like saying
you're either a Trump supporter or you're not.
No, I don't think she's saying Trump versus not Trump.
Okay.
She's saying pretty much, you're not at complete opposite ends, but they aren't exactly where you are either. So in other words, it's not like Trump and DeSantis and her.
Okay.
Or Biden. And,
yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to meet people that we have different perspectives. I think that's interesting, right? That makes some great conversation.
Right.
But some of this stuff that people are saying, well, that's just political. No, that is not political. That is about humanness and the lack. Either you have humanness or you lack humanness.
Right. I think Benny CUDE lacks humanness because all he's doing is using all caps to tell me that Trump plays golf, so that means he's in great physical shape as he sits on his
good God.
Golf cart.
You got to be kidding me.
And
he's a fat, unhealthy man who's disgusting.
And then Benny says, do you think Dr. Jill gets tired of changing his diapers? Oh, thank you for that gift, Trainer Charlie. That's very sweet.
I think they need to remember that Trump is actually the one truly wearing diapers, not Biden.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at which one of them, I mean, they're the same age. So anything that you're making fun of Biden at, might as well make fun of Trump. Yeah. But I really appreciate you taking my advice, Trainer Charlie, and I'm glad that taking my time really paid off. And thank you for the super chat money. It's very nice. Yeah, we have badges, I think, on. Do we? I don't know. I didn't turn them on.
It says buy a badge to support KarenLee Potter. Please buy a badge to support KarenLee.
You guys, we take that money and we buy wine with it. We have probably a treasure trove somewhere sitting. That money is.
Yeah, I don't even know where it is.
Neither do I.
So Karen, what is a gender role myth? Because I've had some conversations, especially with Mark, over the years about gender identity, gender roles, gender assignment, gender versus sex, biologic sex. So it can be very confusing conversation for somebody that hasn't studied it for a living.
Okay.
So, but one of the things that I think people get confused about is gender and gender identity and gender roles. So what do you think is a myth about like gender roles?
That women belong in the kitchen.
There we go. That's a good one. Yeah.
That's my favorite one, considering literally my boyfriend knew he's going out of town and he took me to the grocery store and he's like, you're buying this, because I know you're not going to eat unless I'm here. which, that's a gender. We flip the gender who's cooking on its side. I'm eating, he's cooking.
Right. Yeah, and I think the other one is that men need to be the breadwinners.
Why?
No, I mean, women have the capacity to earn sometimes more.
Oh, I have
make it collaborative, huh?
I have a personal friend who she makes a lot of money and her husband has always stayed home with the kids, raise the kids, and still does. Let's see, Mrs. L, thank you for your answers. I meant, for example, if they had some opinions which are problematic, but they're not, hateful. Yeah, Mrs. L, that's what I understood what you were saying. I agree with you that sometimes those opinions are problematic.
Well,
even if they're not hateful.
I think sometimes if people have opinions that are really difficult for you to kind of just sit with,
wrap your head around,
then you have to make an agreement that those are off the table for conversation.
Or speak about them in a therapeutic setting. If you
get a mediator.
If you really like this person, if she really likes him, but she can't stand some of the comments that come out of his mouth for whatever reason, then and you guys can't have a civil conversation where you both express your sides, and then go to a counselor. There's nothing wrong with that.
You do have to learn how to have arguments or conversations about very diverse topics,
right?
For each of you that are respectful and still hold each of you in integrity. That's tricky because a lot of people aren't skilled in that, and it's easy to get emotional. So it's good to have that take some communication classes, go to a counselor and just say, hey, we want to learn some new communication skills so that we can talk about these topics that we're way off. We're not on the same page, but we'd like to learn more about each other. Hi, Tina.
Benny is saying, y'all's brain is fried. Y'all are sad. There is so many things wrong with Benny right now. First of all, y'all's brain is fried. It's poor grammar. It's just poor grammar right there.
Well, clearly Benny's not a very bright guy or gal. So take it for, put it in perspective.
And Benny, if we're all sad, why are you here?
Some people just love to be antagonistic.
Hold their homes and investments. It's
yeah.
all about respectful communication. Absolutely, it is.
Yeah.
I just think what helped me and my boyfriend of it's over 15 years. I don't even know how long it is. But to think of ourselves on the same team, that seems to help us a lot. We're not trying to be right or wrong. We're on the same team.
Yeah, and that can be hard to remember when you feel like you're really at odds on a certain topic. You're not listening to each other. You're not hearing what each other is saying. Yeah.
Mrs. L is saying, yeah, good idea, but maybe not for the first days. No. This is somewhere down the line when you guys already had a conversation and it didn't work out, but you still liked each other. Maybe you're sexually attracted to each other. I was never able to be sexually attracted to someone who I didn't respect what they had to say.
Ditto.
Even if it was like a one-nighter or whatever, I couldn't make it a two-nighter.
Yeah.
Or if they're disrespectful and they're on their phone, and when they should be paying attention to moi.
So we have a question: does being fat automatically make the person unhealthy?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I mean, I think statistically we know people that are overweight, that it's harder on their organs, right? Because when we have, especially if we have central trunk obesity, that fat does build up around the organs before it comes out through the skin. So we know how we put on fat weight, and that around the organs really makes it hard for those organs to function. So that is one thing. We know people that are overweight have a higher incidence of diabetes and heart disease, but not everybody. There are some people that are just built with a bigger structure that will carry extra weight, and they can be super healthy. So I think that's more individualized.
Yeah. In addition to that, I just read that it was a study of 90-year-olds. They said having a little extra weight on them actually has made them last longer than the skinny minis, because the weight.
Well, I intentionally put on weight over COVID just in case I got COVID.
Exactly. So that all that weight is good for your bones.
Yeah.
Patrick says, I would just like to thank you all for the advice and the conversation. As always, it's quite a pleasure. Patrick, we welcome you and your Fading Rose poetry anytime. Yeah. The investment guy says the problem is that people have tantrums when you disagree with them, and tribalism is at all-time high right now. Yeah, I don't understand why people have a tantrum if you don't agree with them. I don't have a tantrum if I don't agree with somebody. I may want to explain myself and why I think certain ways, but I don't have a tantrum and, well, whatever. Somebody is dying to come onto this live stream named Jer. I don't understand what the heck's going on there. All right, Mrs. L, many people don't know that it's the same for underweight. It could be equally potentially unhealthy. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. So.
Yeah, well, weight is just one factor, right? When I had my diabetes practice, I would talk to people about stacking the deck. And, what do you stack? Like, just having diabetes alone, is not necessarily a death sentence. It's not a death sentence at all. But are you going to get heart disease, or are you going to get complications from the diabetes? Well, that depends on how the deck is stacked. If you have diabetes and you're overweight and you don't exercise and you smoke and your cholesterol's high, and I mean, it's like you stack that deck, then the odds are more in your favor that something's going to happen. So if we just look at individual risk factors, a risk factor like family history it doesn't mean that it's going to happen as just one risk factor.
Right. But genetics do play a part.
It's one piece of this one thing to stack.
Right. I like that stack, like a sandwich.
Yeah.
That's an interesting talk too about being underweight and how that affects health as well.
Well, and I think commenting, when people comment on other people's weight, and I apologize for commenting on Trump's weight because I normally am very conscious of that. I just detest him, so it's hard for me to refrain.
I thought he was number one on your fantasy bucket list.
I mean, I just threw up in my mouth. I'm sorry.
Again,
But I think when we comment on people's weight, whether it's thin, thick, light, heavy, I think we just need to stop commenting on people's bodies. So shame on me. I apologize for that.
And then the other part of that whole thing is what people think of as fat or thin or whatever today is way different than when we were growing up. I mean, I had big boobs. I was like mortified and embarrassed. Now people are, doing whatever they can to put weight in, fat into their boobs. So.
They're getting gender affirming surgeries.
Gender affirming, that's right.
Somebody was talking about, banning gender affirming surgeries. And I said, so the breast augmentation is going to be banned, and, penile implants are going to be banned, and testosterone for men is going to be banned, and estrogen for women is going to be banned. And, it's like, do you know what you're saying? All of those are gender affirming, right?
I just wish people would mind their own beeswax. That's all. I'm just asking.
That is the bottom line.
Mind your own.
But they aren't, and they're powerful, and they're passing laws that make it illegal to do these things. We need to show them the ridiculousness of these laws and get them to reverse. Like Oklahoma just passed, the governor just passed a law that prevents them from banning books ever in any public education.
Wait, they prevented from banning books?
Right. Because the schools are trying this women for mothers for liberty.
So in a sense, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, no, so there are people doing some really good things.
Yeah, in the I wouldn't have picked Oklahoma as one of these forward-thinking states. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, but the reason that they have to pass that law is because we have this very, very right-wing Christian nationalist group of women that are crossing the country, the Moms for Liberty, very much a domestic violence organization, who are no knowledge, no education, no credentials, going into schools and basically clearing out their libraries. Any Black author, anything that talks about inclusivity, whether it talks about gender or sexuality, if it's talking about inclusivity, it's being banned.
And how about
they're doing this all across the country.
How about the Jews and the Holocaust? All those books are banned.
Oh, well, that's all banned, yeah.
And I think I told you this, and I went to, our rabbi gave a sermon for one of the last holidays, and she said, if you're going to ban books, ban the book that talks about rape and abuse, and I mean, basically you're talking about the Bible.
The Bible, right.
If you're going to ban something, ban the Bible. That's got more shit going on than any of the books that see, what happens is if we ban books, then people can't have empathy for the other side because they don't understand what it's like because they haven't read anything or seen anything about what it's been like to be a victim of any of this prejudice. That's why books are so powerful.
And that's where Joe Biden just stated today or yesterday that we America has a very complicated history, and we've done a lot of things that we aren't proud of. But if we try to erase those things, then how are we supposed to learn how to do them better, how to grow? That we need to be proud of ourselves and proud of the growth that we've had, but just taking it out, trying to ban the knowledge, what does that do? It doesn't undo. It's like saying I'm sorry is not an eraser. It's like you can't unring the bell that's already been rung. So
how do we get those books back in? I don't know. But have you ever walked into like a Barnes and Noble and seen like a whole section of books that are currently there on the table that are banned? It's like some of my favorite books growing up. Catcher in the Rye was banned. All these books that, by Toni Morrison that I used to love, they're all banned.
Right.
Anne Frank, the book of Diary of Anne Frank, banned.
Well, what's very interesting to me is the list of banned books is now, those books are selling at record numbers.
Because people want to know why are they, but that's
right. So keep banning the books, people, because that's gonna make people read even more.
Yeah, when I saw that table, I'm like, I should go back and read these books again.
Yeah. So here's a good point. When a healthy athlete dies from the same issues as heavy people, it causes uncertainty. And I think you're talking about like a sudden heart attack.
Right.
And we do know that some people have a predisposition genetically to heart disease. And there is something about when people are in too good of shape. In other words, they have very low body weight, they have very lean muscle mass, they're usually runners. They don't develop what's called collateral circulation. And so if you have a blood vessel and you have little blockages, or you have a little overweight and you don't eat right all the time, we develop these little offshoots of circulation so that when one little vessel gets blocked, you've got a whole bunch of other ones that go around it to get to the necessary places. So people that don't have collateral circulation already created, when they have a heart attack, it can be sudden death.
That's interesting.
Because they have no way to get circulation around that.
Right.
So
that's very interesting.
Yeah.
My little nurse.
Yeah.
My little doctor's wife. I just had to unfortunately put Benny in timeout.
Was Benny being a jerk?
Benny could not stop himself from making Biden comments, so I put him in timeout. Mrs. L said, "Where books burn, people will burn in the end." Saying by Heinrich Heine.
Yeah, and Glowing Beach Face says, or cancer. I think we have to remember, too, that being an athlete doesn't equate necessarily with being healthy.
Not at all. As a matter of fact, I was listening to a live stream, and it was a podcast. And the guy was saying how he was an athlete and he couldn't figure out why he was losing so much weight. And his eyes were bulging. And what do you think he had?
Thyroid was wrecked. Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, I mean, like marathon runners, Olympic athletes, anybody that's in competitive sports, they might look physically very fit, but that doesn't necessarily equate to great health. So that's a great point to bring up, is you can't tell a person's true health by the muscles in their body.
Right. Wow.
Okay. Well, we're over and they haven't shut us off yet, so that's good.
Yeah.
So, Karen, where can people find you?
I'd say right now, just go to KarenLeePotter.com and also Sex Talk with My Mom. We're going to be going on a little hiatus this summer because my son is going off to clown school. In France.
That just doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me either. He's an excellent clown. So yeah, we're not going to be doing a lot of recording, so we might be doing more live streaming for Wild Women with Wine.
There we go. Awesome.
If you guys want to find Nancy, how do they find you, Nancy?
You can go to my website, which is drnsp.com, and you can find out who I am, what I do, and how to make an appointment with me if you want some counsel or support in a journey that you're on that maybe you have trouble finding other people that will be supportive of your journey.
And if you have topics that you would like discussed,
send it to us.
Send it to us.
Send it either our Instagrams or email us. Yeah, we're all over the place. Where's Dr. Mark? He was a fun addition. Plus, he has a cool radio voice. Oh, that's nice to hear. I'll tell him. He's at karate right now, kicking somebody's ass. No doubt.
Yeah, A-list incognito.
He got his 6th degree black belt.
I didn't even know there were more than 5.
There's in his lineage, the highest is 9.
And he's not already at 9?
Well, his teacher's a 9 or an 8, and and his teacher's been doing it his whole life. So you can't surpass the teacher.
Well, if he doesn't become a karate teacher, he can go into the radio business.
Right. Well, he is a karate teacher.
Oh, he's already.
That's what he's doing right now. Yeah. He teaches Tuesdays and Thursday nights. He's done that for about 20 years.
I think I'd be his first reject.
He has the patience of a saint. And if you know me, you know that's necessary.
That's not necessarily what you see. There you go, Mrs. Elva. If you think about it, he has the patience of a saint. Nancy's got the patience of not a saint.
A toddler.
A toddler.
No, I actually have a lot of patience.
I don't.
But you don't?
No, I don't. As a matter of fact, I was talking to one guy one time. I remember we were sitting back smoking some weed, and we were talking about okay, so we know what our strengths are. What are our weaknesses? And I said, I think my weakness is patience. I don't have a lot of patience. I go, what's yours? He goes, I don't have any.
Let me help you with that.
You have no flaws whatsoever. Couldn't think of one.
So, is there a difference between patience and tolerance? Because I have patience, but I'm running out of. I got fewer and fewer fucks to give for being tolerant, trying to be tolerant.
I'm going to let one of our fans figure that one out. Maybe Mrs. Alva or A-list incognito can tell us.
Yeah. What's the difference between patience and tolerance?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there's got to be one in every relationship that's a little feistier than the other, right? I mean,
I don't know. Between me and mine, I don't know. Maybe Buddy is the most sane person around here.
But who's the most feisty between you and Dee's?
Feisty in what way?
I mean, just feisty, more spirited, more adventurous, more.
Oh, well, he could talk to. He can be. I go downstairs to get a cup of coffee, and he's gone for an hour because he's talking to everybody so much. So feisty means talkative, then he is for sure. You would think it would be me, but it's not.
Yeah.
How about you?
I would probably be the more feisty one because we were in Reno one time, and Mark said I was playing a slot machine, and he goes, "I'll go get the car." So he went and got the car, and he's waiting, and I didn't show up, and he told the valet guy, "Well, I guess you can take it back." And he came in, and I was winning. I was winning like $100 jackpots after another. And
you weren't leaving.
So he had to wait for me to finish my wahooing.
And he was calm.
Yeah, he was calm. Yeah, he's totally cool. No, he doesn't get irritated.
Nothing ruffles.
Yeah. He has lots of patience.
All right. So
patience relates to time. Tolerance relates to sensibilities. Okay, I like that.
Where'd you get that one from, A-list?
Yeah. Chat GPT.
Yeah, really. I think I don't have patience or tolerance.
Well, I think that may be maybe that's what happens when our when our rose fades.
When our rose gets old and fades and drops off the vine. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to ask Chat GPT. Between tolerance and patience. Okay. So have you used Chat GPT yet?
No, but I think people all around me are losing jobs because of all the.
I know. I saw your daughter's thing. Yeah.
Not just my daughter. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
Okay, so patience is the ability to wait calmly for something or someone without getting angry or upset. So time, right? And tolerance, on the other hand, is the ability to accept and live with people who are different from us, treating them with respect and dignity.
Well, that's for Mrs.
That
L.
was relate to sensibilities. Very good.
Mrs. L, you got to be tolerant of this guy if you want to keep him then.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like you have the same sensibilities.
Yeah. So learn how to share your differences and learn the sentence, "Thank you for sharing that with me." And let that be all you say when somebody shares something with you that you disagree with.
Oh man, I be saying that a lot. I'll be saying that one a lot. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you for sharing that with me. Yep. But that's a very important phrase.
Mrs. Alves saying that's the problem. I don't have tolerance for that, for those stuff. LOL. All
right. Well, I worry we're going to get cut off here, so I want to be able to say goodbye and have a great night.
You too.
Love you so much, and I hope to see you soon.
I hope so too. You got to get yourself away from those millions of people in your family.
Yeah, it's really kind of a little nutty.
Yep. But I'll be patient and wait.
Thank you. Yeah, they're getting kind of demanding.
Yes.
But, number 2 is graduating from high school tomorrow night and headed off to college. So 2 down, 4 to go.
Oh, my God. Bye, Matt. Thanks again for those pics. And Mrs. L, goodbye. She says, goodbye, beloved Cougars. You're right there with us, Mrs. L.
Bye, Matt. Bye, everybody. Thanks for checking in tonight.
Bye.
Have a great Pride Month. Remember, be supportive of others, even if you disagree with them. Find some of that tolerance and think compassion, think empathy. If you start to get riled up, go, okay, what can I find compassion and empathy in this moment for this other person's struggle and this other person's human rights to be who they are, to love who they love, and to decide how they want to be referred.
And with that, I say adieu.
Adieu. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. It's been fun. Talk to you later. Bye.